Jake Harrison stood on the bridge of the research ship Horizon's Edge, watching the endless stars through the main window. For 3 months, his crew had been mapping asteroids in the outer solar system. It was boring work, but someone had to catalog every rock that might contain valuable metals. Another day, another pile of space rocks, muttered Tony Clark from his engineering station. The big man wiped sweat from his forehead as he monitored the ship's mining scanners. Dr. Lisa Martinez looked up from her science console. At least we're making good money. The mining companies pay well for detailed asteroid maps. She tucked a strand of brown hair behind her ear and returned to her data analysis. Jake nodded. The pay was indeed good, though he sometimes wondered why a simple mining survey needed such an advanced ship. The Horizon's Edge had systems that seemed far too sophisticated for rock hunting. But he didn't ask questions. Good jobs in deep space were hard to find. A sharp beep from the communications array interrupted his thoughts. "Captain, I'm getting something strange," called out Communications Officer Ben Parker. "It's not from Earth or any of our colonies." Jake felt his stomach tighten. "What kind of signal?" "Unknown design. The patterns don't match anything in our databases." Ben's voice carried a note of worry. "And Captain, it's getting stronger. Whatever's sending it is heading our way." Lisa stood up quickly. Could it be another human ship with damaged communications? Before anyone could answer, the main screen flickered. A new contact appeared on their sensors, a ship unlike anything they had ever seen. It was long and sleek, made of what looked like crystal that caught and reflected starlight. Strange energy patterns danced along its hull. "That's definitely not human," Tony whispered. Jake's training kicked in. "Battle stations, raise shields and—" He stopped mid-sentence. Why had he said battle stations? They were on a research ship. They didn't have battle stations. The crystal ship moved closer. A new voice filled the bridge, speaking accented but clear English. "Human vessel, this is War Prime Zekthara of the Kalith Empire. You will prepare to be boarded for inspection." Jake felt something strange happening in his mind. Memories that didn't seem real began to surface. Images of military academies, combat training, and advanced warships flashed through his thoughts. "Jake," Lisa said urgently, "something's wrong with my head. I keep remembering things that never happened." Tony gripped his console. "Same here. I remember building weapon systems, not mining equipment." The alien voice spoke again. "You will submit to Imperial authority. Your primitive species will serve the Empire or face destruction." Jake's mind suddenly cleared, as if a fog had lifted. The memories flooding back were real. This wasn't the research ship Horizon's Edge. This was the UES Vanguard, one of Earth's most advanced warships. The mining survey was a cover story implanted in their minds to maintain their disguise. "Computer authorization Harrison Delta 77, Jake said firmly. "Drop holographic camouflage and restore crew memories." The bridge shimmered and changed. Gone were the simple research stations. In their place stood military-grade tactical displays, weapon controls, and defensive systems. Jake's casual civilian clothes flickered and became a crisp naval uniform. Lisa gasped as her own appearance changed. Her simple lab coat became the uniform of a tactical officer, complete with combat ribbons. "I remember now. I'm Captain Lisa Martinez, not Dr. Martinez. I served on the Europa Station Defense Fleet." Tony's coveralls transformed into an engineering commander's uniform. "Commander Anthony Clark, Terran Fleet Engineering Corps. How could I forget building the quantum torpedo systems?" Ben Parker's memories returned as well. "Lieutenant Benjamin Parker, Communications. I helped design the encryption systems we're using." Jake looked at his transformed crew. "We've been living under false identities for 2 years. The neural suppressors kept us believing we were civilians until a real threat appeared." The Kalith ship fired a warning shot across their bow. "Human vessel, you will comply immediately." Jake smiled grimly. "Not today." He turned to his crew. "Lisa, bring weapons online. Tony, I need full power to engines and shields. Ben, send a coded burst to Titan Base. Tell Admiral Stone the masquerade is over. The Vanguard's true form was impressive. Where the Horizon's Edge had been a small research ship, the Vanguard was a sleek predator bristling with advanced weapons. Its hull was made of adaptive armor that could shift and change to deflect enemy fire. Weapons charged and ready, Lisa reported. The aliens don't know what they're dealing with. War Prime Zekthara's voice turned angry. Impossible. Our scouts reported humans as a primitive species barely capable of interplanetary travel. Your scouts saw what we wanted them to see, Jake replied. Computer, open a channel. The main screen showed the interior of the alien ship. Zekthara was tall and thin, with blue-gray skin and large black eyes. Behind him stood other Kalith warriors in elaborate armor. I am Commander Jake Harrison of the United Earthship Vanguard, Jake said calmly. You are trespassing in human space. Leave now, and no harm will come to you. Zekthara laughed, a sound like breaking glass. One primitive vessel against the might of the Kalith Empire. You amuse me, human. One ship? Jake smiled. Computer, signal the fleet. It's time our visitors learned the truth about humanity. Across the outer solar system, space began to shimmer. Dozens of points of light appeared as cloaking devices deactivated. Massive warships materialized from seemingly empty space. They had been hiding in plain sight, disguised as asteroids, space debris, and even artificial comets. The Kalith War Prime's confident expression changed to shock. This is impossible. Our intelligence indicated humans possessed no significant military capability. Your intelligence was wrong, Jake said. For 50 years we've been preparing for this day. We knew that eventually someone would come looking for an easy conquest. We made sure they would be disappointed. Tony reported from his station. Admiral Stone is requesting a status update. The entire hidden fleet is powering up. Lisa added, I'm reading massive energy signatures throughout the system. Whatever we built while our memories were suppressed, it's big. Jake looked at the alien ship on his screen. War Prime Zekthara, you have 10 minutes to leave our space. Tell your empire that Earth is not the easy target they thought it was. The crystal ship began to retreat, but Jake knew this was only the beginning. The Kalith would return with a larger force. But now, humanity was ready to show the galaxy what they had been building in secret. As the enemy ship vanished into hyperspace, Jake felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. The masquerade was over. Earth's secret was revealed. Now came the real test of whether humanity's hidden preparations would be enough to survive what was coming. Admiral Rebecca Stone stood in the command center of Titan Base, watching dozens of holographic displays showing ships across the solar system. For 2 days since the Kalith encounter, her hidden fleet had been preparing for war. The secret humanity had kept for 50 years was finally out. Admiral, incoming transmission from the Vanguard, reported Communications Chief Kelly Adams. Put Commander Harrison through, Rebecca said. Jake's face appeared on the main screen. Behind him, the bridge of the Vanguard buzzed with activity. Admiral, we've completed our analysis of the Kalith ship's data transmissions. They sent everything they recorded back to their empire before retreating. Rebecca nodded grimly. Then they know we're not the primitive species they expected. How long before they return with reinforcements? Dr. Rodriguez estimates 2 weeks, maybe 3, Jake replied. Their home system is approximately 40 light-years away. Even with their faster-than-light drives, it will take time to organize a proper invasion force. Rebecca turned to Dr. Sam Rodriguez, who was working at a nearby console. The scientist looked tired but determined. Sam, what's the status on the Shadow Gate? Sam looked up from his calculations. The energy readings are off the charts, Admiral. Ever since the Kalith appeared, the gate has been trying to establish connections with other similar structures throughout the galaxy. I think it's some kind of communication network. Rebecca had discovered the Shadow Gate 15 years ago, buried deep beneath the surface of the moon's far side. The ancient artifact was clearly alien in origin, but unlike anything else humanity had encountered. It was a perfect ring of unknown metal, 50 meters across, covered in symbols that no human language expert could translate. Have you made Any progress decoding the symbols? Rebecca asked. Some, Sam replied. The patterns seem to respond to neural activity. When our telepathic volunteers get close to the gate, the symbols light up in different sequences. I think it's trying to establish a connection with human minds. On the Vanguard, Captain Lisa Martinez joined the conversation. Admiral, we've been analyzing the Kalith language patterns. Their communications mentioned something called the Third Imperial Fleet and a leader named Admiral Korvash. Rebecca pulled up intelligence files on her personal display. We don't have much information on Kalith military structure, but a third fleet suggests they have at least two others. This could be a larger force than we anticipated. Tony Clark's voice came through the speakers. Admiral, I've been thinking about our ship designs. We built them to fight an unknown enemy, but now we know who's coming. Should we modify our weapon systems? Negative, Rebecca replied. Our adaptive technology should handle whatever they bring. The real question is whether one enemy fleet is all we'll be facing. Chief Science Officer Nancy White stepped forward. Admiral, we're receiving reports from our deep space monitoring stations. The Kalith aren't the only ones moving in our direction. Long-range sensors are detecting at least 3 other alien civilizations heading toward Earth. Rebecca felt a chill run down her spine. 3 others? Why? It appears that news of our existence has spread quickly through whatever communication networks these civilizations use, Nancy explained. Word of a new species with advanced technology tends to attract attention. Sam looked up from the shadow. Gate data. Admiral, I think I know why they're all coming. The gate isn't just trying to communicate with similar structures, it's broadcasting our location to every connected network in the galaxy. Can you shut it down? Rebecca asked. I don't think so. The activation seems to be automatic once it detects sufficient neural activity in the local area. Earth's population might have triggered it years ago, but our psionic dampening fields kept it quiet until now. Rebecca made a decision. All fleet. Commanders, this is Admiral Stone. Operation Silent Horizon is now complete. All ships are to drop camouflage and report to designated rally points. We're going to war. Across the solar system, space began to reveal its secrets. Near Jupiter, the massive dreadnought UES Defiance materialized from within the Great Red Spot, where it had been hidden for 3 years. Captain Dan Mitchell and his crew of 800 had been living in complete isolation, maintaining their ship in training for this moment. Around Saturn, a dozen destroyers appeared from behind the planet's rings. The UES Retribution, commanded by Captain Karen White, phased into normal space from a dimensional hiding place that had kept it invisible to all sensors. Mars revealed a hidden shipyard built into Olympus Mons, where dozens of fighter craft launched into space. The asteroid belt turned out to be filled with disguised weapons platforms and supply depots. But the most impressive sight was Earth itself. The planet's moon suddenly blazed with light as massive defensive installations powered up. Orbital platforms that had been disguised as space debris revealed themselves as heavily armed battle stations. Rebecca opened a fleet-wide channel. All ships. This is Admiral Stone. For 50 years we have prepared for this day. Our ancestors knew that eventually humanity would encounter hostile alien civilizations. They began Project Silent Horizon to ensure our species would survive first contact. The fleet numbered over 200 ships of various sizes. Dreadnoughts, battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and support vessels. Each one was equipped with technology decades ahead of anything the public knew existed. We have gravity manipulation drives that allow us to move faster than any known alien propulsion, Rebecca continued. Our quantum weapons can phase through most known shield technologies. Our adaptive armor learns from each attack and becomes stronger. Captain Mitchell's voice came from the Defiance. Admiral, all capital ships are reporting ready status. Weapon systems are charged and defensive screens are active. Captain White added from the Retribution. Stealth squadrons are in position throughout the outer system. If the Kalith bring friends, we'll be ready for them. Sam Rodriguez looked up from his console. Admiral, the Shadow Gate is stabilizing. I'm getting coherent signals from at least 12 other gates in nearby star systems. Some of the transmissions appear to be distress calls. Distress calls? Rebecca asked. Yes, ma'am. It seems we're not the only species dealing with aggressive neighbors. Several civilizations are requesting assistance against something called the hegemony. Rebecca studied the incoming data. The galaxy was a more dangerous place than they had imagined. The Caliph were apparently just one member of a larger alliance of aggressive species that had been conquering and enslaving other civilizations for centuries. "Admiral," Nancy reported, "I'm detecting massive hyperspace signatures approaching the edge of our system. Multiple fleets, not just Caliph. Estimated arrival time is 6 hours." Rebecca looked at the tactical display showing her. Hidden fleet, 200 ships against multiple alien fleets. The odds weren't good. But humanity had spent 5 decades preparing for exactly this scenario. All ships, prepare for combat. Today, we show the galaxy that Earth is not an easy target. Today, we prove that humanity belongs among the stars. As her fleet moved into position, Rebecca wondered if their preparations would be enough. The Shadowgate continued to pulse with energy, connecting Earth to a galaxy full of allies and enemies they had never imagined. Whatever happened next would determine not just humanity's survival, but their place in a cosmic war that had been raging for millennia. The Caliph Third Imperial Fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, like a swarm of angry wasps. Admiral Korvash stood on the bridge of his flagship, the massive battlecruiser Eternal Conquest, expecting to see a primitive world defended by simple spacecraft. Instead, he found himself facing the largest military fleet he had ever encountered. "War leader," his tactical officer reported with obvious fear. "The humans have over 200 warships in defensive positions. Their technology signatures are unlike anything in our databases." Korvash stared at the tactical display in disbelief. Where intelligence had promised him an easy conquest, he found a fully prepared enemy fleet using technology that seemed to bend the laws of physics. On the bridge of the UES Defiance, Captain Dan Mitchell watched the alien fleet approach. His massive dreadnought had been hidden inside Jupiter's Great Red Spot for 3 years, using the planet's magnetic field to mask its energy signature. Now it led the first battle group in humanity's opening move. "All ships, this is Captain Mitchell. Execute attack pattern Alpha. Show them what human engineering can do." The Defiance accelerated toward the Caliph fleet at impossible speed. Its gravity manipulation drive allowed it to ignore conventional physics, turning and moving in ways that should have torn any normal ship apart. Behind it, 20 other capital ships followed in perfect formation. Admiral Korvash watched in horror as the human ships approached. "Impossible. No ship can maneuver like that. They're breaking every law of motion." His weapons officer targeted the leading human ship, firing primary plasma batteries. Brilliant beams of energy lanced out toward the Defiance, each one carrying enough power to destroy a city. The weapons struck the human ship's shields and simply vanished, absorbed by energy barriers that seemed to learn from each attack. "Their shields are adapting to our weapons," the tactical officer reported. "Each shot becomes less effective than the last." Captain Mitchell smiled as his ship's adaptive defenses analyzed the alien weapons. "Return fire. Let them see what quantum torpedoes can do." The Defiance fired a spread of weapons that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The torpedoes phased through the Caliph shields as if they weren't there, striking the alien ship's hull directly. Explosions rippled along the Eternal Conquest's armor. Korvash staggered as his ship shook under the impact. How did their weapons penetrate our shields? Across the battlefield, Captain Lisa Martinez led the vanguard and 12 other ships in a flanking maneuver. Her tactical training, now fully restored, allowed her to see weaknesses in the alien formation that civilian minds would miss. "Target their command ships first," she ordered. "Break their coordination, and the rest will follow." The human ships moved like a pack of hunters, each one supporting the others while they struck at carefully chosen targets. Their weapons systems were designed by humans who understood that war was about more than just firepower. It was about thinking faster and better than your enemy. On Titan Base, Admiral Stone watched the battle unfold through multiple data feeds. "Dr. Rodriguez, what's the status on the Shadowgate?" Sam looked up from his monitoring equipment. "The energy output is increasing exponentially. I think the battle is triggering some kind of automated response. The gate is trying to establish connections with other networks throughout the galaxy. Other networks? Yes, Admiral. I'm detecting similar structures in dozens of star systems. Some of them are responding to our signals. It's like the gate is calling for help. Rebecca studied the incoming data. Are we receiving any responses? Actually, yes. I'm getting transmission bursts from at least 6 different civilizations. They're all asking the same question. Are we the ones fighting the hegemony? Rebecca frowned. What's the hegemony? Before Sam could answer, Chief Nancy White interrupted. Admiral, we have new contacts dropping out of hyperspace. Multiple fleets, unknown configurations. The tactical display updated to show 3 more alien fleets arriving at different points around the solar system. Each fleet was larger than the Calith Force, and their ship designs were completely different. The crystalline ships belong to something called the Ethereal Collective, Nancy reported. The biomechanical vessels are from the Swarm hierarchy. The geometric ships appear to be from a machine intelligence called the Unity. Rebecca realized that humanity's first battle was about to become much more complicated. All fleet units. Be advised, we now have multiple hostile forces entering the system. Maintain current engagement, but be ready to adapt tactics. Captain Karen White brought the Retribution and her stealth squadron out of dimensional phase directly behind the newly arrived ethereal fleet. Her ships had been hiding in folded space, invisible to all known sensor types. Surprise, she muttered as her weapons opened fire. The ethereal ships, beautiful but deadly crystalline structures, found themselves under attack from enemies they couldn't see until it was too late. Their energy-based weapons were powerful, but the human stealth technology made targeting almost impossible. Commander Tony Clark, monitoring the battle from the Vanguard's engineering station, watched his adaptive systems learn from each enemy weapon type. Captain, our shields are already adjusting to the new energy patterns. The more they shoot at us, the stronger our defenses become. Jake Harrison coordinated his ship's movements with the rest of the fleet. All ships, execute pattern Delta. Show them that humans fight as a team. The human fleet began moving in complex formations that confused their enemies. Where alien fleets typically fought as individual ships seeking personal glory, the humans moved like parts of a single organism. They shared targeting data, coordinated their attacks, and covered each other's weaknesses. Korvash found his fleet being systematically destroyed by enemies who seemed to anticipate his every move. These humans fight like they can read our minds. On the Shadow Gate monitoring station, Sam Rodriguez made a startling discovery. Admiral, I'm receiving a massive data transmission through the gate network. It's a star map showing the locations of hundreds of civilizations throughout the galaxy. What kind of civilizations? Rebecca asked. 2 types, Admiral. Green markers appear to be free civilizations under attack. Red markers are members of something called the hegemony, an alliance of aggressive species that has been conquering the galaxy for over 1,000 years. Rebecca studied the map. Earth was marked in blue, apparently designated as an unknown factor. But dozens of green markers were clustered nearby, representing species that were fighting for their freedom against overwhelming odds. The Calith, Ethereals, Swarm, and Unity are all hegemony members, Sam continued. They're here because word of our existence has spread through their network. They want to eliminate us before we can organize resistance. Rebecca made a command decision. All ships, new priority targets. These aren't just invaders. They're part of a galactic empire that's been enslaving free civilizations for centuries. Today we send a message that Earth stands with the free peoples of the galaxy. The battle raged for 6 hours. Human technology, tactics, and determination proved superior to the alien fleet's raw power. Adaptive shields, quantum weapons, and coordinated teamwork allowed the smaller human fleet to defeat enemies that outnumbered them 3-1. As the last hegemony ships retreated or were destroyed, Admiral Stone received a priority transmission through the Shadowgate network. The message was simple but profound. Free peoples of the galaxy, Earth has heard your call. We stand with you against the hegemony. We are coming. The human fleet had won its first battle, but Rebecca knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was at war, and humanity had just chosen a side. The Shadow Gate pulsed with energy as connections formed with resistance movements throughout the galaxy. Earth's secret fleet was secret no longer. Now it was time to show the galaxy what humanity could accomplish when they fought for freedom. Emperor Vakturin of the Kalith Empire smashed his fist against the crystal throne, sending cracks through the ancient artifact. The reports from Admiral Korvash's defeated fleet filled him with rage and fear. Humans were supposed to be primitive, helpless prey. Instead, they had destroyed 4 hegemony fleets with technology that defied understanding. "Summon the Council of Ancients," he commanded his aide. "The humans must be eliminated before they inspire other rebellions." Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out in the capitals of other hegemony worlds. The crystalline ethereals sang mourning songs for their lost fleets. The swarm queens buzzed with anger at the unexpected defeat. The Unity's machine minds calculated and recalculated, unable to understand how their perfect battle algorithms had failed. On Earth, Commander Jake Harrison stood before the active Shadow Gate, preparing for humanity's first journey beyond the solar system. The massive ring hummed with energy, its alien symbols glowing in patterns that hurt to look at directly. The gates connected to a network spanning thousands of light years. Dr. Sam Rodriguez explained, "Each connection leads to a different star system. Some contain friendly civilizations, others are controlled by the hegemony." Jake studied the star map displayed on nearby screens. Green dots marked free worlds under siege. Red dots showed hegemony, strongholds. Blue dots indicated unknown factors like Earth had been just days before. "Which destination do you recommend?" Jake asked. Sam pointed to a green marker relatively close to Earth. "The Draken Republic. They've been fighting the hegemony for 200 years. Their latest transmission indicates they're about to lose their capital world." Admiral Stone's voice came through Jake's communicator. "Commander, you have authorization for first contact. Take the Vanguard through and establish diplomatic relations. Show them that Earth stands with the free peoples of the galaxy." Jake nodded to his crew. Captain Lisa Martinez had volunteered to accompany the mission, along with Commander Tony Clark and a team of specialists. Their ship had been modified with the best diplomatic equipment Earth could provide. Beginning gate. Transit in 3, 2, 1. The Shadow Gate flared with brilliant light. Reality seemed to bend and twist as the Vanguard passed through, traveling thousands of light years in mere seconds. When the light faded, they found themselves in orbit around a burning world. "My God," Lisa whispered, staring at the main screen. The planet below was under massive bombardment. Huge hegemony ships rained fire on cities while smaller vessels hunted fleeing civilian transports. In space, the remnants of a defending fleet fought desperately against overwhelming odds. "Captain, I'm receiving transmissions from the defending fleet," reported Communications Officer Ben Parker. "They're broadcasting on multiple frequencies calling for any Allied forces to assist." A new voice filled the Vanguard's bridge, speaking accented but understandable English. "Unknown vessel, this is General Skarhess of the Draken Republic. If you are here to help, we welcome you. If you serve the hegemony, know that we will not surrender." Jake activated the response channel. "General Skarhess, this is Commander Jake Harrison of the United Earthship Vanguard. We received your distress call through the Gate Network. Earth stands with the free peoples of the galaxy." A moment of silence followed. Then, "Earth? The new species that defeated 4 hegemony fleets? Your reputation precedes you, Commander. Can you assist with our evacuation?" Jake looked at his tactical display. The hegemony force numbered over 50 ships, while the Draken defenders had fewer than 20. But the human ship carried technology that had already proven effective against similar odds. "Tony, can our adaptive shields handle this level of firepower?" Jake asked. Commander Clark studied his engineering displays. "Our shields adapt to each weapon type they encounter. The more they shoot at us, the stronger we become. But we'll need to be smart about this." Lisa activated the tactical systems. "I'm reading multiple hegemony ship types, Kalith cruisers, ethereal destroyers, and something new, swarm bioships that appear to be grown rather than built." Jake made his decision. "General, Prepare your evacuation transports. We'll provide cover. The Vanguard dropped out of orbit and accelerated toward the hegemony fleet. The aliens noticed the new arrival immediately and redirected several ships to intercept. Energy weapons blazed across space as the human ship entered combat. Jake watched his ship's systems adapt in real time. The first Kalith plasma beams did significant damage to the shields. The second volley was less effective. By the third attack, the weapons were barely scratching the adaptive barriers. "Return fire," Lisa commanded. "Target the ship attacking the civilian transports." Quantum torpedoes lanced out from the Vanguard, phasing through the enemy's shields and striking their hull directly. The hegemony ship exploded in a brilliant flash, its destruction visible from the planet's surface. General Scar Hess's voice carried new hope. "Incredible. Your weapons penetrated their shields completely. How is this possible?" "Human technology," Jake replied simply. "We design our weapons to solve problems, not just destroy things." The battle continued for 2 hours. The Vanguard danced between enemy ships, its superior maneuverability allowing it to avoid the worst of the alien firepower, while its adaptive shields learned from every attack. Meanwhile, quantum weapons systematically destroyed key hegemony vessels. During the fighting, Jake received multiple transmissions through his ship's gate communication system. Other free civilizations had heard about the battle and were sending messages of support. "Commander Harrison," came a melodic voice. "This is Harmony Speaker Lumara of the Lumina Confederation. We have watched your species emerge onto the galactic stage. Your actions give hope to all free peoples." Another transmission followed from a different species. "Human Commander, this is Hive Mind Secondary of the Independent Collective. We are machine intelligences who broke free from Unity control 50 years ago. Your victory inspires us to greater resistance." As the last hegemony ships retreated, from the Draken system, General Scarhess requested permission to come aboard the Vanguard. Jake agreed, curious to meet their first alien ally. The Draken general was impressive, 7 feet tall with scales that shifted color based on emotion, and intelligent eyes that spoke of centuries of warfare. His species looked like upright lizards, but their technology and culture were clearly advanced. "Commander Harrison," Scarhess said as he entered the Vanguard's conference room, "your species has accomplished in one battle what we have failed to do in 2 centuries. You have given the hegemony a defeat that will be remembered across the galaxy." Jake gestured for the general to sit. "We are new to galactic politics, General. Can you explain what we're really facing?" Scarhess activated a holographic display, showing the galaxy. "The hegemony controls 60% of known space. They are not simply conquerors. They are a philosophy. They believe that advanced civilizations have the right to rule over lesser species. They enslave entire worlds and strip them of resources." Lisa studied the display. "How many free civilizations are left?" "Perhaps 200, scattered across the galaxy. Most are like us, fighting desperate holding actions while the hegemony grows stronger. Until now, we had no hope of victory." Tony looked up from his technical analysis. "General, we've been studying your ship designs. Your technology is impressive, but it's designed for defense. You've been fighting to survive, not to win." "True," Scarhess admitted. "We lack the industrial capacity to build offensive fleets. The hegemony controls most of the galaxy's manufacturing worlds." Jake considered this information. "What if you had access to human manufacturing techniques? Our adaptive technology? Our weapon designs?" The general's scales shifted to a bright gold color that Jake interpreted as excitement. "Commander, are you suggesting an alliance?" "I'm suggesting more than that," Jake replied. "Earth wants to organize a new coalition of free worlds, not just to resist the hegemony, but to defeat them permanently." Sam Rodriguez chose that moment to announce a major discovery. "Commander, I've been analyzing the gate network. The ancient builders left behind more than just transportation. There are manufacturing facilities, weapons platforms, and even entire automated fleets hidden throughout the galaxy." "Automated fleets?" Lisa asked. "Yes, but they require proper authorization codes to activate, codes that have been lost for thousands of years." Scarhess's eyes widened. You speak of the precursor, legacy. Legend says they built the gates to help younger species resist cosmic threats, but no one has ever found a way to access their technology. Jake felt a strange sensation, as if something was calling to him from the gate network. Sam, what happens if someone with the right neural patterns tries to interface with the precursor systems? I'm not sure, Commander. The energy patterns are too complex for our current understanding. Jake made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. Set course for the nearest precursor facility. It's time to find out if humanity is the species the ancient builders were waiting for. As the Vanguard prepared for another gate transit, messages flooded in from resistance movements across the galaxy. Word of Earth's emergence had spread like wildfire, inspiring hope in civilizations that had given up dreams of freedom. The massive precursor facility hung in the void like a sleeping giant. Built around an ancient star at the galaxy's center, the structure was larger than most solar systems. Its metal surfaces were covered in the same symbols that decorated the shadow gates, but here they pulsed with energy that seemed to respond to human presence. Commander Jake Harrison stood on the bridge of the Vanguard, leading a coalition fleet of over 3,000 ships from 60 different species. 3 months had passed since Earth's emergence, and the galaxy had rallied behind humanity's call for freedom. All ships, this is Commander Harrison, Jake announced. Today we end the hegemony's 1,000-year reign of terror. Today we activate the precursor legacy and bring freedom to the galaxy. Admiral Stone's voice came through from the flagship UES Defiance, now serving as the Coalition's command ship. Jake, the facility is responding to your neural patterns stronger than anyone else we've tested. Are you ready for interface? Jake nodded, though he knew the risks. Dr. Sam Rodriguez had spent weeks studying the precursor technology, and the interface process was dangerous. Several volunteers from other species had attempted contact and fallen into comas that lasted for days. Beginning approach to the central interface chamber, Jake reported. Lisa, you have command of the Vanguard. Captain Martinez nodded grimly. Good luck, Jake. Bring us home. The shuttle carrying Jake and Sam docked with the massive station. As they walked through corridors that had been empty for 10,000 years, the alien symbols began glowing brighter. The facility was awakening after millennia of sleep. The energy readings are incredible, Sam reported, scanning with his instruments. It's like the entire structure is one massive computer, and it's been waiting for someone with human neural patterns. They reached the central chamber, a vast spherical room with a single chair in the center. The chair was clearly built for humanoid occupants, and the moment Jake approached, every surface in the room blazed with light. Commander, Sam said urgently, I'm reading massive power buildups throughout the facility. Something big is about to happen. Jake sat in the ancient chair and immediately felt his consciousness expand beyond anything he had ever experienced. Information flooded his mind. Star charts, weapon designs, the history of galactic civilization, and the true purpose of the precursor network. The precursors had not been conquerors or gods. They had been gardeners, preparing the galaxy for the species that would come after them. The shadow gates, the automated defenses, the hidden fleets, all of it had been designed to help younger civilizations survive and grow. But the precursors had also foreseen the rise of the hegemony. They had built safeguards into their technology that would only activate when a species with the right combination of intelligence, adaptability, and moral courage appeared to lead the fight for freedom. Humanity was that species. Sam, Jake said, his voice echoing strangely in the chamber, activate all precursor facilities throughout the galaxy. It's time to wake up the defenses. Across the galaxy, ancient installations that had been dormant for millennia suddenly blazed to life. Automated shipyards began producing vessels using technology that made even human innovations look primitive. Weapon platforms that could destroy entire fleets powered up in strategic locations. Defense networks that spanned solar systems activated their shields and targeting systems. The hegemony had ruled through fear and superior firepower. Now they faced an enemy that commanded the accumulated technology of the galaxy's oldest civilization, Emperor. Vakturin received the reports from his throne room with growing terror. How many precursor facilities have activated? Over 10,000, my Emperor, his tactical advisor reported. They are producing warships faster than we can count them. Automated fleets are appearing in every major system we control. And the humans? Still leading the resistance. Their commander Harrison appears to have gained access to precursor command codes. He can control their entire network. Vakturin stood, his crystalline form crackling with frustrated energy. Mobilize every ship in the Empire. Call upon all hegemony allies. If we cannot stop this rebellion now, we will lose everything. The final battle began when the hegemony assembled the largest fleet in galactic history. Over 50,000 warships from dozens of species. They surrounded the precursor facility, determined to capture or destroy the human who threatened their empire. Admiral Stone coordinated the defense from the Defiance's bridge. All coalition ships, prepare for the largest space battle in galactic history. Remember, we're not just fighting for our own freedom, we're fighting for every species that dreams of liberty. Captain Dan Mitchell led the first wave of human ships against the hegemony fleet. The Defiance and her sister ships used their adaptive technology to devastating effect, learning from each enemy weapon and becoming stronger with every attack. Captain Karen White brought her stealth squadrons out of dimensional phase directly behind enemy command ships. Surprise attack successful. Enemy coordination is breaking down. But the real game changer was the precursor fleet. Automated ships that used technology beyond current understanding appeared throughout the battle space. They could phase between dimensions, manipulate gravity and time, and coordinate their attacks with perfect precision. Jake, still connected to the precursor network, felt every ship and weapon in the ancient fleet. His human intuition guided artificial intelligences that had been waiting 10,000 years for this moment. All precursor units, execute liberation protocol, he commanded. Show the galaxy what freedom looks like. The ancient ships moved like a perfectly choreographed dance. They struck at key points in the hegemony formation, destroying command vessels and disrupting communications. Their weapons could penetrate any known shield technology, while their defenses adapted to each attack in real time. General Scar Hess, commanding a wing of Draken ships, watched in amazement as precursor vessels cleared a path through enemy lines. Impossible! They're fighting like they can predict every enemy move. They can, came Jake's voice through the communication network. The precursors built these ships to be the ultimate expression of defensive warfare. They protect the innocent and free the enslaved. The battle raged for 12 hours. The hegemony's numerical advantage meant nothing against technology that could adapt to any threat. One by one, their fleets were destroyed or surrendered. Emperor Vakturin's flagship was captured by a combined human precursor assault team. When the fighting ended, the galaxy had changed forever. The hegemony's 1,000-year empire was broken. Enslaved worlds declared their freedom. The Shadowgate network became a tool for trade and communication instead of conquest. Jake finally disconnected from the precursor interface, exhausted but triumphant. Sam helped him stand as they watched the celebration beginning on ships throughout. The fleet. Commander, came Admiral Stone's voice. The coalition leaders are requesting your presence for the signing of the Galactic Freedom Charter. Jake smiled. Tell them I'll be right there. 6 months later, Jake stood on the observation deck of Earth's new orbital station, watching ships from hundreds of worlds arrive for the first galactic assembly. Humanity had gone from a hidden species to the leaders of a galactic civilization in less than a year. Admiral Stone joined him at the window. Any regrets about revealing our secret fleet? Jake shook his head. The secret was always meant to be revealed when the time was right. The precursors knew that eventually, someone would need to unite the galaxy against the forces of oppression. And now we build something better. A galaxy where every species has the right to choose their own destiny. A galaxy where freedom isn't something you have to fight for. It's something you're born with. Outside the window, the combined fleets of the new galactic commonwealth spread across space like stars. Human ships flew alongside Draken vessels. Lumina energy beings traveled with machine intelligences, and dozens of other species worked together as equals. The shadow gates continued to pulse with energy, but now they carried messages of hope instead of calls for help. The galaxy was free, and humanity had shown that sometimes the greatest secret is simply the willingness to stand up for what's right. Earth's secret fleet had fulfilled its purpose. Now it was time to explore beyond the galaxy itself to see what other wonders and challenges awaited among the stars. The age of human leadership in galactic affairs had begun, and the universe itself seemed to welcome their arrival.